Hello, everyone. This is Joseph Lucier here for our weekly Tongren session. Glad to see everyone. And we got a lot of people here this week, so we're going to get started right away. I'm also going to check in and get our people from Instagram included. We are a equal opportunity Tongren international community. So we're all set. There we go. And we are now live on Instagram. So we have our 4-part process. It's good to see everyone. And I'm just rolling down to make sure I don't miss anyone. We have our 4-part process, 3-part process, blood flow to the brain. And we have our first person right here. We're going to begin right away. Jeff, for long haul COVID, blood flow to the brain. And Henry, I see Henry as well. And we've gotten Catherine McGlynn and Esther, who've chimed in also. Command points of the brain, good for the long-term COVID. So for long-term COVID, some new information that I got just very recently that we'll work on. And it's 2 different situations. One of people have been vaccinated, or one of people have been vaccinated and had COVID itself. So blood flow and nerve flow to the spine. So for long-term COVID, P1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8. So one of the things to do is proteolytic enzymes between meals. That's one thing we can follow up on again. And work on the microbiome. Inflammation, systemic inflammation is one. So we get some feedback, getting a little better, but not yet there yet. We're going to keep working on it. And for Emma, I got your request, absolutely. Lumbar 1 to 5. Adrenals for long-term COVID. But neuropathy from the arms, brachial plexus, from the legs, lumbosacral plexus. And Yiping, nice to see you again. And Masterpiece Maker. I like that name, Masterpiece Maker. And grounding down to the legs. And energy, stomach 36 for long haul COVID. For the last day or so, I've been consulting with my herbalist master teacher and talking about binders, renegade peptides, and for energy as well for long-term COVID, CV4. So next we will work with Henry and then Esther. So any people interested, the Detox cleanse starts in a week from Saturday. If you're local to New Jersey, you'll be able to get shipped. It's a 14-day program. We got, I think, 6 people we will have it in this time. So Esther, and then Henry. Oh, did I say Henry and Esther? We'll work on both together. Blood flow to the brain and work on the endocrine system for pain. Brings me to an interesting question. What are the command points for the endocannabinoid system, which would be the hormone system associated with cannabis? I'm going to try to figure that out. There must be an endocannabinoid command center. I'll figure it out. Guaranteed. There must be something like we have the pituitary and hypothalamus for the endocrine system. So for everyone, continue as always. Take a deep breath. Breathe in, ideally through the nose, 4. Breathe out through the nose, 8. Hold your breath for 8. 4-8-8 breath activates the relaxation response. So let's go right to, that's for the brain. Flexibility, GB17, BL9, which is for the joints. And to, in a way, enhance your treatment, close your eyes and put your mind in the points that you require or that I'm tapping. Yi Dao Qi. You can lead the Qi with your mind to different places. Brachial plexus. T1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8 for pain as well. And then for the lower body, T7 blood flow and then nerve flow. For Henry, neuropathy in the legs, we do the lumbosacral plexus. I'm going to actually move back so you can all see my hands. And we'll continue to do some other points for you, Jeff, as we continue to go through. Glad to hear good news. So, on the ouch point of the legs, so any neuropathy, check the structure related to the nerves, which would be the lower back. Check the vitamin B12 and B vitamins related to the actual health of the nerves. And then check on inflammation. Those are 3 things that you can really check on. And T7 for the lower extremities, lumbosacral plexus for the legs, and for the bladder, for Esther, S1 to 5. So for everyone, and including Esther, T9, stomach and liver, right side. Detox liver. Great ways to detox are through clay, foot soaks, or body soaks. S1 to S5. So you Instagram folks, where are you guys? and the ouch points for the legs. So a good way to do it for the legs, to invigorate the legs neuropathy, is down the bladder meridian, and then the IT band, the gallbladder meridian. So hopefully this charges up your legs, increases blood flow, nerve flow, and Chinese Qi. And Mumashadi is here. Good to see you. Hello to Instagram. And then grounding bladder 54 for the lower back and the legs. And grounding liver 3. And kidney 1. I see something about chocolate, so I think I know who that is. And yep, if you have changes, better, worse, no change, things that are going on, and let's know how you're doing week to week if we can. That would be great. So good to see you, Henry. And we'll continue to work, and you continue to get benefit because we will repeat everything a few times. So next we're going to work with Emma for sepsis and infection in the port, as well as overall inflammation and a lymph tune-up. How's that? Throw that in as a bonus. So first, blood flow to the brain and some eye points for Faris and Faris's mom. Optic nerve, GV 22, 23, 24. So blood flow and nerve flow, T1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8, anti-infection. Sorry to hear that. So let's really focus on T1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8. And we will work on fatigue for sure. We won't skip anything for you, Faris. Let's work right on the ouch point for the port as well. T1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8. Just trying to think of what you could do topically without causing a problem. Something like aloe vera gel. Coconut oil. And also for sepsis infection, the gut itself, T11, T12. L4 and L5. Okay. So let's just get everything clear. T11, T12, L4, L5 for everyone, anti-inflammation and building up the microbiome, even for our upcoming request for depression. And then grounding. For glaucoma, don't skip that. TV17, that's pressure. Circulation. Cardiac Respiratory Vasculatory Center. For pressure for the eyes, glaucoma is a pressure issue. And activate the entire spine. Work on fatigue, which is T1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8 as well. Digestion, absorption, elimination, T11, T12. And yes, Momo Shari, I got your request. You're coming up very soon. And grounding the vagus nerve, gut-brain axis. And grounding to liver 3 and kidney 1. Shobin, good to see you. Okay. So next we work on Yiping, brain fog, left ear ringing. Blood flow to the brain. So next we work with brain fog. So blood flow to the brain, think of 3 main areas. Carotid artery, right here, all known as the sky window. But carotid artery to the brain, vertebral artery, 2 blood supplies, and the third, the occipital arteries. So a great algae product called Brain On is great for brain fog from a company called E3 Live. And for the ears, vestibulocochlear nerve for the ear itself. Blood flow to the ears, facial artery, vertebral artery, common carotid artery, and occipital arteries for the brain and the ears. And then inflammation for left ear ringing, but the ouch point for the left ear itself directly. And the Chinese organ for the ears, the kidneys, L1, L2. And while we're here, we're working on adrenal health for kind guests. So L1, adrenals, and kidney. And for detoxing, I always recommend clay. We even have a program, 14-day program, using clay. We've got 6 people, 5 from New York, 1 from Arizona. Gotta get some water here. Apologize. Excuse me, very dry here. So for depression, focus on the gut, probiotics, high fiber diet, high hydration. Excuse me. T1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8, anti-inflammation, which can also exacerbate depression. But remember, the neurotransmitters go from the gut to the brain. So work on the gut, the microbiome. And next we will work with Mumashari and Shobun. Yes, please tap along with us. That would be great. Good practice. So the microbiome, T11, T12, L4, L5. And additionally, for the depression, think of everything. Issues are in the tissues. That's one thing. And depression can be trauma, but also always good to reflect and connect to your true self in a good way. From a Tongren perspective, of course, is having on the in tongue of the third eye, the connection to our soul in many ways. In tongue area. And for detox, again, T1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8, 9. So the 2 main areas for detox are the skin and the liver, T9, T4. So for detoxing, you've got to think about binders. And T9 for the liver, for detoxing. And of course, the kidneys and the liver and the bladder. Vagus nerve, gut-brain axis, also for depression, for detoxing. And grounding liver 3 and kidney 1. So next is Mumashari, and yes, we can work on, for your niece, absolutely, we will work on your niece. So let's work on perfect blood, a lymph tune-up for everyone. Emma and everyone for a lymph tune-up. But perfect blood, bone marrow, and perfect blood. Blood flow to the brain. Command points to the brain, endocrine system, so pituitary, thyroid, parathyroid, and T1 for the bones. So let's repeat that. So there's a question, what are your tests for COVID presently? T1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8, anti-inflammation. Big time for the lungs. You should be taking herbs for the lungs. NAC and vitamin C, vitamin D, and zinc with quercetin. So those would be the basic things. And the liver to detox and anti-inflammation. Yeah, Jim, let's find out what are the points for, I never thought of that until today. What are the points for the endocannabinoid system? They must have some logic. They have it. It's an endocrine system, pain management system. So let's continue. For the blood, T1 for the blood, T6, C7, T1 for the blood, and GB39 for the bones, rather, for the bones. T1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8, Chauvin for the breast, especially T4. Blood flow, nerve flow. So blood flow would be the mammary arteries. Blood flow to the breast area. And then T4 for the nerves for the breast. And if it involves endocrine hormones, which estrogens and stuff like that, 19, 20, GV20 and 22 for the endocrine system. So then to continue the bone marrow support, GP789 for perfect blood, tailbone 1, 2, 3, 4. And grounding to liver 3 and kidney 1. And for Emma and for Chauvin and for the detoxing, We work on a lymph tune-up. Armpits, axillary lymph. The armpits, inguinal lymph, iliac lymph. And someone says they watched my interviews with the aloe vera person. And where did you go for those? Did you go to the aloe vera site or my YouTube site? I'm just curious how people find my stuff. I'm glad you did. Again, the mammary arteries, blood flow, and the breast, ouch points for Chauvin. And additionally, for Chi, for perfect blood, we want the spleen, as well as all of the lymph nodes, which we've done. And grounding to liver 3 and kidney 1. And for all cancers, oxygen protocol for all inflammation, phrenic nerve, CV17, diaphragm. And grounding liver 3 and kidney 1. So next, we work for your niece and for Fran D for esophageal cancer. So let's do the ouch point of the eyes for the black eyes. Sorry to hear about the 10 stitches. Sounds so painful. So blood flow to the brain for healing and the scars. So I hope the assaulted person is in jail. That's all I can say. So for Jenny, let's work on that as well. So we work on the head areas for your niece. Bone marrow, blood repair, blood platelets, blood clotting, all those things. Anti-inflammation, T1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8. Long-term COVID. Sepsis. Microbiome. T11, T12, L4, L5. Vitamin E on the scar area can get rid of those scars too. Hopefully it's not on her face. I hope. And vagus nerve, CV4, got brain access. The ouch point of the head. And grounding to liver 3 and kidney 1. Good luck with all that. Yeah, the endocannabinoid system is pretty advanced. I'm glad you felt better after our session, which is great. Yes, he was arrested. That's good news. No excuse for anything like that. Nothing. So Jenny, for both feet, plantar fasciitis, which is an itis inflammation. What I would do is I would consult a chiropractor. They have a protocol for plantar fasciitis, as well as physical therapists. But if you're in the Hanover area, I know a chiropractor that does it, my chiropractor in particular. So left middle finger sprain, also going to be starting a 30-day course of internal herbal aloe force. Oh, good. Let me know what dosing you're going to be doing and your goal with it. But it's brilliant stuff. Very excited. Topical for the feet and finger. I hope it's helping. I bet it is. You're on a steroid, so we may have different results for sure. Watch both of the interviews. Yeah, I'm just curious where those interviews showed up for you, because they're on Facebook forever. But you know, you have to know they're there, and you have to dig. And they may be they should be on YouTube. That might be the place. Start Resilience has joined us. Good to see you. So blood flow to the brain command points. Brain command points, brain stem command points. So blood flow, nerve flow. So let's work on the left middle finger. So the source is the nerves, the brachial plexus, and down to the ouch point on the left middle finger. T1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8. Any itis, as we say, any inflammation. Let me know how that goes with the aloe. I have a lot of faith in the aloe vera. So if you test positive for COVID, it can have an impact on your lungs. So we'll tap for the lungs, but also something called NAC, which will basically protect your lungs from getting injured. And the other ones that I mentioned, zinc and quercetin, vitamin D, iodine, things like that. T1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8. And T8 is for Fran D and the esophageal cancer. So 2 parts for cancer, the target bioelectrical point, which is T8, and then the oxygen deficiency source, which is, according to Nobel Prize winning science, that's the cause of cancer in oxygen deficiency or hypoxia. So the phrenic nerve and the diaphragm, CV17. And you're up next, Jim. gut brain axis, GB12, the vagus nerve, to the microbiome. Yeah, I think it's good to look for an alternative to steroids. And also for the esophagus, CV17 and CV12 for esophageal cancer for friend D. Liver 3 and kidney 1. And we have Parkinson's and the eyes. Oh, did I do Catherine McGlynn? We're going to do the eyes. If I did, I'll do them again. Blood flow to the brain. We did them for Ferris. And the ouch point for the eyes, macular degeneration, but also for Jim, for Parkinson's, neuropathy, insulin resistance. A lot of times insulin resistance is caused by the ratio of your intake of your fats. So the best ratio for optimal health for our body is 80-10-10. 80% carbs, 10% protein, 10% fat. And the insulin resistance, which is the insulin caused by fats, that is the resistance, that would be mostly animal products. Blood flow to the brain. Brain command points for the Parkinson's. Command points to the brain stem. And the substantia nigra part of the brain, which manages shaking. So the herb for that is Mucuna pruriens, M-U-C-U-N-A, P-R-U-R-I-E-N-S. Vertebral artery, spinal artery. Neuropathy, let's focus on that directly, the nerves. Ideally, sublingual B12. If I didn't send you that, sublingual B12 from globalhealing.com, that has 3 types of cobalamins, which is really important for the health of the nerves. So, neuropathy, shoulders, and while we're here, we're working on more of the macular degeneration, blood flow to the eyes, vertebral artery to the eyes, and C3. So, neuropathy, let's work on the source of the nerves in the shoulders, which is brachial plexus. Lumbosacral plexus. So work up the nerves to the legs and to the arms. G1234778, anti-inflammation, PTSD, GB13, right side. And adrenal exhaustion, 2 parts. Let's do L1, L2, and then boost the energy back, stomach, 36. So let's work with Esty, who's still in the hospital. Let's do that. And liver 3, kidney 1. Okay, so let's work for Magnificent Being and left breast cancer. We won't miss it. Blood flow to the brain. One of the best things for preventing metastases are infrared mats or infrared booths. The infrared light increases microcirculation. More microcirculation, more detoxing. There's a scientific proof of the electromagnetic reorientation called The Fourth Phase of Water by Dr. Pollack, which is very interesting. But it's a win-win-win with light therapies. And we have someone in our audience that's going to be using them on their head, certain frequencies as well. Blood flow to the brain. Neurogenic cough. Anything dealing with the nerves, always check for viruses, including Epstein-Barr virus. You should always rule that out because viruses eat part of the nerves and then the nerves become exposed. Blood flow to the brain. The best light devices I've seen are platinum. It's an odd name, but platinum. But biomats, there's an entire book on the biomats, a company called Ereada, E-R-E-A-D-A. If you email me, I can give you their information as well. But I have one. I actually have 2 of them. These are biomats. And what happens is if you put heat through quartz crystals, number one, of course, you're getting the crystal energy. But on the other side of the crystal, it creates infrared light, which is very healing. Can penetrate up to 6 inches. Sorry for my cough. I apologize. I usually turn off my video, but I'm in multiple media, so I can't really do that. But so for the insulin resistance, the other part is the pancreas, which I did not do. Pancreas and adrenals for Jim. T8 right side, L1, L2. Let's repeat that. T8 right side, L1, L2. Yes, talkative character. Let me know how that goes because that looks like a perfect remedy. 3 ounces 3 times a day is excellent. It has macrophages which clean up and reduce like renegade stuff, reduce inflammation, general cleanse, which is great. Speaking of a cleanse, we have our cleanse a week from Saturday, our 14-day program. We do a 7 and 14-day program. The first one is oxygen focused and colon focused. The second one is clay focused. So the light frequency would be Ereada, E-R-E-A-D-A. That's what I use professionally in my offices. So if you want a nice biomat, that's excellent. There are also entire like block units that are on platforms from a wonderful company called Platinum. They have terrible customer service, but the best products. Is infrared okay if there are blood clots? With you for SD, I would talk to your doctor I think it would be okay because the goal would be to improve overall general circulation. So for talkative character, you have chronic Lyme that shows up every few years. Yes, we do, but if you're doing any kind of cleansing program, any kind, clay, aloe vera, clay, or even foods, think of it as a two-part process. Number one, to shake things up, which can be done through light, even through the aloe vera. But the other side of that process is binders to remove die-off and other things. So that would be through clay, certain foods. So always think of it as a two-part process, because a lot of times, especially for Lyme, you shake up things with a protocol, and then these things, this die-off is still roaming around the body and creating a second round of inflammation and problems. So you need to get them out of the body through binders. So blood flow to the brain. So overall circulation, which would be for ST, GV17. I personally think the infrared would be great. Always consult your doctor because you may be on certain medications or certain things. But overall, red light, infrared light, these things are really good for systemic body microcirculation, anti-inflammation, anti-metastases, proven by science. Blood flow to the brain. Magnificent being, neurogenic cough. So C3, T1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8. COVID is a systemic body knockdown. It goes after the entire body, all the organs, and then it especially impacts weak areas. And if yours is the throat, therefore it will make it more weak and go below that threshold. Triggered by the common cold, and we will also work with the vagus nerve for those areas as well. So GB12 for the vagus nerve, which is connected to the throat. Even the ears, when people get their ears cleaned, they cough. It's because it's connecting all the way down. See 3, 4, 5, and 6, the ouch point, the upper throat. And let's do it. So the question is, I have the clay, you take it internally, it depends upon the clay. If the clay comes from the proximity of a military base, like some bentonite clays, it may be affected by atomic fallout. The clay I get is from Oregon, which is exceptional clay, can be drank and used topically in many ways. The sacred clay, yes. The sacred clay, you can drink that, yes. Absolutely. It's great to take internally. Great cleansing. So you are taking, let me just see, you are taking the, so there you go. I would do, if you do the clay drinks or baths along with the aloe vera, that's actually an incredibly super powerful process. And if you happen to get some infrared light as well, but if you be hydrated, do the clay and do the aloe vera, long term, short term and long term, that will have a really profound healthy effect. And let me know how that goes, because I know those are extremely, extremely effective and beneficial. 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8. We did the vagus nerve and the throat. You're welcome, Pete. Awesome to see you. T1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8 for chronic Lyme as well. So Mumashari says, thank you, Joe, for all that you do. Feeling the healing chi. Feeling the healing. There we go. A new logo. Feeling the healing. Tongren. And grounding to live a 3. And a boost, CV17 for ST in the hospital, CV4 for energy for long-term COVID people as well. And grounding, liver 3 and kidney 1 for everyone. And I just want to make sure I did get the left breast cancer and lymph. Let's do one more lymph tune-up. Left breast area, but the lymph, axillary lymph, inguinal lymph, and lymphatic ducts. The adjacent lymph nodes, I get it. And the biggest lymph node of the body, the spleen. And grounding, liver 3 and kidney 1. So let's do a nice immune boost for everyone. Take a nice deep breath. Ideally, breathe in 4 through the nose. 1, 2, 3, 4. Out through the nose, count to 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Hold for 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And I will give you chi. CV4, charge the Dantian battery, equivalent to the sacral chakra. Good to see everyone. We are finishing exactly on time. I won't be holding up anyone, but it's good to see everyone. Keep thinking about that process, talkative character, clay, aloe vera, good hydration. A good way to hydrate, of course, is in the morning having either baking soda first thing in the morning or lemon water first thing in the morning, 8 to 16 ounces. And then throughout the day, apple cider vinegar water, which is excellent. Good to see you, Eric. Shobhan, and you're welcome very much. You're welcome for the chocolate guy. I don't want to call you the chocolate guy. For the chocolate master. Absolutely. Siobhan, thank you very much for correcting me. Anyone out there, feel free to correct me. So I will say it correctly. Siobhan, thank you for correcting me. Appreciate it. I'm glad that I'll get it right next time. And anybody else, if I mispronounce your name, my name is tough. It's usually said Lucier. It's actually Lucier. It's not pronounced like it's spelled, which is typical for French, which is a beautiful language. And so see you all next week. You're wonderful people. Thank you for building our community of Tongren healing aloe vera practitioners and talkative character. Good luck with that. Let me know how that goes. I have a feeling you're going to have insanely great results. Take care. Bye now.